Welcome back to Wee Willy Wonderful's video tutorial 13. We're going to start the bunny's head and we're going to get you going for the first few rows, and then the rest is instructions that we've already covered, so we're going to leave you to get on with it after that and then meet you back at the end of the head. So let's get started with the pattern. So with our bunny, this is the head shape we will be making. We're going to It does tell us we're going to make one, always tells us how many, and we're starting at the nose end, and that's so you can see how it's going to shape and you know exactly what you're doing. We're going to cast on 6 stitches, then we're going to knit forward and back for the full row, then we're going to purl a row, and then we're going to do knit 1, knit forward and back, and repeat that 6 times. Let's get started. So first we're going to cast on. So we've made a slip knot. Move that out of the way so we can see. Oops. It's all getting taffled. All right, so here we go. So we're going to cast on. So it's just a reminder, if you look at the pattern and you think, I know how to do all of that, then just skip this video. And the next one will show you right at the end, purling 2 together and sewing up and seaming the head. So we're doing in, over, through, and then popping it back on our needle. So in, over, through, back on the needle until we have 6. So let's just check our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then to knit forward and back. So we're going in as if we're knitting, in, over, through, and then instead of going off, we're going to go into the back of the stitch, pointing downwards, wrap our wool around that way, kind of pull it back up and grab that wool we've just wrapped round, and then we have 2 from 1 stitch. So in, over, through, and then we're going to go back down, show it from the front, over, and then we're kind of pulling it back up and through and off. So in, over, through, into the back of the stitch. And we're going to do that in each of the stitches. Sorry if there's any noises, it's a really hot day here, so I've got the window of the studio open. So now we have 12, and if you remember, they look a little bit different just because of the way that we've added the stitches. So the next row on your pattern is 12, is purl, and we'll end up with the 12. So we're just doing a straight purl row. If you remember, with the purl, we're going down the front of the stitch, over from the back, around, gently pushing it through and then off. So just a little reminder. So we're purling each stitch. Does sometimes have to pull a bit of yarn out, because if you end up with it too tight, you're forever pulling at it. And that one's getting in the way. Look at that. It's one of those days where it's not playing ball. So we're just doing 1 purl in each stitch, nice and straightforward. Yeah, sorry if there's background light, it's just so hot. Honestly, the studio gets really hot as well, so I just can't do it without having a little bit of fresh air coming in. So that's our row finished of purls. So our next row, row 3, we're going to, I'll show you that instruction again. So because it's in brackets, we're repeating it. So we're doing knit 1 and then knit forward and back 6 times. So let's go through that, and we're going to end up with 18 stitches. So knit 1, so that's just a normal knit, and then the next one is knit forward and back, forward and then into the back again, just like we did on the last row. So we're increasing, but obviously at a slower rate than the last row of increases that we did. So again, we're doing knit 1, so just a normal knit when we knock it off, drop it off the end, and then knit forward and back, so doing that and then going into the back again. So I'm just repeating that pattern. So knit 1, knit forward and back, and as the pattern said, it's a times 6. So it's 6 times repeating that pattern. So to knit 1, and knit forward and back. Oops, doesn't want to do it. There we are. And then knit 1 again, and then knit forward and back in our last one. So now if you want to count your stitches, you should have 18. Now I'll just show the next few rows of what's going to happen, and then we will leave you to do some knitting. So the next row is going to be a full purl row, so 1 purl in each. The one after will be knit, so just 1 knit stitch in each stitch, and then a purl row, and then the next one I'll just talk you through. Row 7, we're doing knit 2, knit forward and back. So that'll be exactly the same as the row we've just done, but instead of knitting 1 stitch, you'll knit 1 stitch, then knit another stitch, and then knit forward and back. So knit, knit, knit forward and back, and repeat that 6 times. Then continue with the pattern, because it's all very similar with the knit rows, the purl rows and the increases. And then as you're coming down, what you will notice from row 23, it does actually say now you will be decreasing your stitch number, and that is just to make sure that you're aware and you don't accidentally carry on with increases, which is really easy to do when we've already done those. So from there you're going to be doing a similar pattern, but you're going to be just for example, let me show you row 29, knit 2 and then knit 2 together. So it's exactly like the knit 2, knit forward and back, but you're just going to be knitting 2 together. So knit 2, knit 2 together, knit 2, knit 2 together for 6, and then you're slowly coming down to decrease. So I want you to carry on with the whole pattern right the way down until you get to row 32, and that's where we're going to pick it up later on the next video. So we'll do row 32, and then we will show you how to sew up and stuff the head. We don't show all of the pattern on these videos because these are tutorials which match the Knitted Bunnies kit or the pattern if you want to buy that in store or as a download. So you can do that from weewoolywonderfuls.com. But we're not showing all of the pattern because this isn't a free tutorial. It's purely to match with all of the videos. So we'll see you back when you've finished and when you're ready to start row 32.